Your brain is making up reality right now, not metaphorically, literally fabricating what you see, hear, and remember. And you have absolutely no idea it's happening. Welcome to OddlyLogical. And today, we're going to blow your mind in the best way possible. Here's the thing nobody tells you. Your brain doesn't experience reality, it predicts it. Right now, your eyes are sending your brain about 10 million bits of information per second. But your conscious mind? It only processes about 50 bits. 50. That means your brain is throwing away 95% of reality and filling in the rest with educated guesses. Let that sink in. You're not watching this video. You're watching your brain's best guess at this video. But wait, it gets crazier. Because here's a question. Do you trust your own memories? Most people say yes, and most people are completely wrong. This is called the Misinformation Effect, and it was discovered by psychologist Elizabeth Loftus in one of the most unsettling experiments in psychology history. She showed people a video of a car accident. Then she asked half the group, how fast were the cars going when they hit each other? And she asked the other half, how fast were the cars going when they smashed into each other? Just one word difference. That's it. The smashed group remembered the cars going 40% faster, and 1 week later, with no new information, they also started remembering broken glass at the scene. Glass that was never there. Your memory didn't record what happened. It recorded what it expected to happen. Now, pause on that, because this has massive implications for your daily life. Every argument you've ever had where you were absolutely certain you remembered something correctly, your brain may have written its own version of events. Okay, but here's where it gets really interesting. Why does your brain do this? Why would evolution build a system that lies to you? The answer is efficiency. Your brain is the most energy-hungry organ in your body. It's only 2% of your body weight, but it uses 20% of your energy. So it evolved to be lazy in the smartest way possible. Instead of carefully processing everything from scratch, it runs on shortcuts, mental programs called cognitive biases. And you've got over 180 of them running right now like background apps on your phone. Here's one you use every single day without realizing it. Confirmation bias. Your brain literally filters incoming information to match what you already believe. It's not being open-minded and weighing evidence. It's a prosecutor that's already decided you're guilty, and only looking for evidence that confirms the verdict. Studies show that when people read the same article, conservatives and liberals literally remember different facts from it. Same words, totally different memories, because their brains were filtering for what fit their worldview. You aren't reading the world. You're reading your expectations of the world. But here's the bias that costs people the most money, and I mean actual real dollars, the sunk cost fallacy. You felt this. You're 45 minutes into a terrible movie and you think, well, I've already watched this much. You stay in a job you hate because you've already put in 4 years. You keep investing in a failing project because you've already spent $10,000 on it. Economically, this is completely irrational. The time and money you already spent, gone, done. A rational actor would only ask, does this give me value going forward? But your brain is wired to avoid waste so intensely that it makes you waste even more just to feel consistent. Harvard Business School studied this with sports teams. They found that players who were drafted in higher rounds got significantly more playing time, even when they were performing worse than lower drafted players. Coaches were unconsciously protecting their investment. The sunk cost was distorting their judgment in real time, costing teams real wins. Now, combine that with our next bias, and you've got a recipe for financial disaster: loss aversion. Here's the wild part. Your brain feels losses roughly twice as intensely as equivalent gains. Losing $20 hurts about as much as winning $40 feels good. Nobel Prize-winner Daniel Kahneman proved this, which means your brain is fundamentally asymmetric. It's not a balanced calculator. It's a loss-phobic alarm system. This is why people hold on to crashing stocks too long. Selling feels like locking in a loss, so the brain screams, wait. And it's why casinos are designed the way they are. Small wins trigger disproportionate joy. Losses feel survivable in the moment, but devastating in memory. Okay, let me give you a moment to breathe, because we've just established something kind of terrifying. Your brain is filling in gaps in reality, rewriting your memories, filtering facts to match your beliefs, making you throw good money after bad, and making losses hit twice as hard as wins. So what do you do with this? Here's the part where neuroscience flips from terrifying to actually useful. Knowing about a bias doesn't automatically fix it, but it does create a pause. And that pause is everything. Researchers call this metacognition, thinking about your own thinking. And it activates your prefrontal cortex, the rational, slow thinking part of your brain, instead of just running on autopilot from your emotional limbic system. Practical tip number 1. When you feel absolutely certain about a memory, especially in a conflict, ask yourself, am I remembering this or reconstructing it? That one question has saved more relationships than probably any therapy technique. Practical tip number 2. For every major decision, write down the answer to this question. If I were starting fresh today with no past investment, would I still choose this? That kills the sunk cost fallacy cold. Practical tip number 3. When you're about to make a financial decision from fear, from not wanting to lose something, flip it. Ask, if I didn't own this, would I pay the current price to buy it? If the answer is no, your loss aversion is driving, not your logic. But here's the deepest thing I want to leave you with. Your brain lying to you isn't a flaw. It's a feature that got overloaded. This system evolved for a world where fast, pattern-matching, energy-efficient thinking kept you alive. The problem is, we're running ancient survival software in a modern world of mortgages, social media, 24-hour news, and investment portfolios. The glitch isn't you. It's a mismatch between hardware and environment. And the fact that you now know this, that's the upgrade. Because here's what nobody talks about. The people who understand their own cognitive biases don't just make better decisions. They make better decisions faster. They waste less emotional energy. They spend less time in arguments about who remembered what. They lose less money to psychological traps. Knowing how the magician does the trick doesn't ruin the show. It makes you the only person in the audience who's actually in control. But here's the thing. There's one more bias we didn't cover today. And it might be the sneakiest one of all, because it specifically makes you think you're immune to all the other biases. It's called the blind spot bias. And the smarter you are, the worse it gets. We're covering that one next time. Trust me, you're going to want to see it. If your brain just had that wait, what feeling, that's the curiosity loop closing, and it means OddlyLogical is working exactly as intended. Like this video if your mind is slightly broken right now. Subscribe so your brain has good content to misremember, and drop in the comments, which bias do you catch yourself falling for the most? See you in the next one.